Hello everybody, it's Dawn and welcome back to our series from the Love from Lizzie August pack 2023. And today we're on project number 6 out of a series of 10. And for this one, I'll turn this board over in a minute because I've made a little bit of a start. We're going to be using some of the papers. We're going to use a range of the stuff we got from this fabulous pack. There's so much of the pack in there that I haven't even used yet. So I thought we'd have a bit of fun and use all sorts of bits from the pack. So I'm going to turn it over. This is a white A4 mount board. Now, if you haven't got mount board, you can use chipboard. If you haven't got chipboard or mount board, use cereal packets. I would suggest stacking about 3 or 4 together and just covering it with some white paper or putting white paper on the front or the back. If you cut it down to an A4, you can just put some A4 paper or cardstock on the front and back. So there we go, and I'm going to turn it over, and as you can see I have made a little bit of a start. I have covered one side of the board. You can cover both sides if you want to, but I'm going to cover just one side because you're not going to see the other side. So I've covered one side of the board with one of these fabulous papers. Now I wanted a more subtle paper, they're all gorgeous, but I wanted one of the more subtle papers because I wanted this to show. Now you need 8 of these ovals, and these are from one of the paper packs, and I'm going to show you how we achieve this. So you will need 8. I've already got 8 cut, another 4 which we're going to pop along the bottom, but I'm going to show you how we achieved it. So what I did from the paper pack, I cut out the outer circle, and then all I did was I used my pen or my scissors. Now make sure you've got something soft underneath you, or underneath your work surface, because it just makes it easier. I've got an old bedspread, or actually it's not a bedspread, I'm showing my age. It's an old duvet cover that I never got around to using. So I've got that spread on my table, and the scissors will go through that quite nicely. So once you've made that hole, that initial hole, all you've got to do is cut round it like that. So we just cut round it like that, leaving as much of the pattern as we can. And you will need to do that 8 times. Now, as the process goes along, you'll see all this clutter in the background gradually disappearing. Now, you will need 8 of these, but do keep 1 of these because you'll need it later on in the project. This is a double-sided, and for the next part, well, not the next part, but the part that we use the cutout for, we're going to use this side. So keep that to one side. And now you have 8 pieces. So let's bring our board back in. And what we're going to do next is we're going to use the other 4 that I've already prepared. And again, I'm going to use, you can use glue if you want, but I want this to stick quickly. So I am going to use my famous red runner tape. So I'm just going to put some all the way around. I'll put the first piece down, and then I'll show you how we're going to link it. So we're going to put that there, and I'm going to put mine just there, my first piece anyway. Now, I tried this a different way. I tried to be clever, maybe too clever. And what I tried to do the first time, I tried to cut these and I tried to actually link them. But I got myself into an awful mess, so I decided not to do it that way. So what we're going to do, we're just going to overlap them. So let's just, oh, we don't want that just yet. Nearly spoilt the surprise then. So we'll get to that in a minute. So we'll just quickly link this. I'll show you how we did this. So it looks like it's linked, but it isn't. It's a cheat link, if you like. So what we're going to do, we're going to slightly overlap it so that you have got a link there. And we're going to very quickly do that on the other 2 pieces. And then once we've done that, I'm going to show you what we're going to use it for, because we're actually going to be making something. I know I said yesterday it was a home decor piece. Well, I'm afraid since then I've changed my mind. It was going to be one of those, I was going to cut these 8 times and fold them in half and make one of those hanging things that just rotates and put them in embellishment on the bottom. But since then I've changed my mind and decided to do this instead, because I thought this would be more practical. So we're just going to pop this on like that, and we are going to link that over there like that, so it looks like it's linked, but it isn't. So we've now got a board that looks like that. Now we're going to put the star of the show in the middle. Now, this is great if you've got one of those inexpensive notepads, the type that you buy in 2 or 3 in a pack. They come like this. They're quite inexpensive. And on the back, I've already got some double-sided tape, and I've pulled the backing tape off. So that's what this is going to be. It's going to be a hanging notepad. But don't wander off yet, because I'm going to show you how we're going to embellish it. Again, from this fantastic kit. So, I'm going to just, any bit of overlap, which we have got there of the tape, I'm just going to turn up. And we're going to pop that in the middle. Now, this is a 6x4. This is a 6x4 notepad. There aren't many measurements for this project, but whatever there are, I will add in the description below. Now, I'm going to use, I had to find a way of using this gorgeous little chicken die. So what I've done, I'm going to pop the board to one side for just a minute. I'll bring it back. It's coming back, so don't worry. I've got a piece, from my own stash, I have got a piece of yellow card. Now, what I did with this one, I die cut it twice in white, but I wanted a yellow background. Now, there are 2 ways of doing it. You can put the yellow behind it and the white and die cut it together, and then they will just, the yellow will come through. But I had a problem with that because I wanted them, I wanted 2, and I wanted them reversed. So what I did, once I die cut my white, I'll show you them in a minute. I'll show you the finished ones in a second. So what I did, once I die cut my white ones, I took my pencil and I drew around the outside. Now you can do this if you want to. So I just drew around my chicken, took my scissors and cut it out, but then I flipped it and did the same the other way round. So I just drew it round like that. Then I took a pair of scissors and cut it out. So I'm going to put that to one side now. So as you can see, the clutter is gradually disappearing. So the more that we get done, the more clutter will disappear. So the sun is pouring through the window and I can't see my screen, so I hope you can still see that. So the next thing we need to do, or we're going to do anyway, is now I've shown you how we embellished that, or how we did our chickens. Once you've done that, lay your white piece on your coloured piece, and any overhang you can cut away. Now I've got a little bit of overhang still there, but I'm not worried about that. I can live with that, so it's going to stay put. So what we're going to do, I've got some foam tape, or no I haven't, I beg your pardon, I've got a foam pad on the back. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick that there like that, facing the pad. Now the other one, I've flipped the other way, and this is actually the wrong side of the die cut. This is the back. This is the back side of what would have been the, or the rear side of what would have been the die cut. And I've still put the, what's that stuff? Yellow card, beg your pardon, brain freeze, on the back. It's late in the afternoon. And again, I've got a foam pad on the back. And I'm going to put that down there, like that. And already that has taken this rather inexpensive looking, or inexpensive notepad into something rather special. But we're not done yet, because we're still going to carry on using these gorgeous embellishments. So far on this series, I haven't used any of the bling. And I've got some twine here just to make the hanger, and I'll show you how I deal with that in a minute. And I've just got one more embellishment. So I'm going to show you a trick with the bling. I've used this gorgeous set, well not all of it, but a little bit of this multi-toned gold bling, or yellow. I'd call it gold, but you can call it yellow if you want to. And what I've done is I've cut off a strip and cut it to the size of the top of my pad. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my runner tape, and you do need tape for this, glue won't work. So just take a line of runner tape and put along the length of your, just the top part of your pad. Don't try and do this on all the on the pages, all of them, because they won't sit. It'll make it go very bulky. And you just line that up like that. Find where you've put, oh, why didn't I go up? It could be because it's empty. It's all right. I have a plan. I've got another one. So that could be one. It could be empty. So we'll put another one down there. And that should, she says, hopefully. Yes, it will. It'll stick this time. Fantastic. So stick like that. Oops. And if that does happen, if the blingy bit does come off, because you've been a bit rough with it, again, you can just use your red runner tape and you can just pop it back into place. So there we go. There is our bling. It was straight to begin with, but it just gives it a bit more lift. It gives it a bit more sparkle. And I've just got a couple more bits to do. Now, before I do the final bit, I'm going to show you how we cope. Actually, there are 3 more bits we need to do. So let's put the hanger on first. Let's deal with that. So I really need to get a new piece of paper as well because this one's a bit sticky. I've already marked them. There are 2, where those 2 flowers are is very conveniently where I want my holes. So again, drive your scissors down through, and if you want a bigger hole, pop it through like that and twist it. Twist your scissors in the hole and you will make a larger hole. It will make it easier, for one thing, to get your twine through. So we're going to do that. So just pop them in as far as you want them. And the further you push your scissors through, the bigger the hole will be. So I've got some twine. It's white twine with a gold thread, which goes beautifully with this bling. So this didn't come with the pack. This is just something from my own stash. So what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to turn it over. Now this is where I should have got a wool needle down because it will be a lot easier to push it through. But push it through, it's difficult to do it on video because you can't see the other side. So we're going to push that through and pull it. Okay, right, plan B. Let's make the hole a bit bigger. Then it should just go through. I should have brought a large needle down so that I could just push it through. But that's all right. Well, it doesn't matter if things don't go quite to plan because I can show you how we work it out as we go along. Or as I call it, winging it as we go along. So, I'm getting laughed at the other side. So, and the other problem, of course, is you've got a lot of fibres from your board that's come through. So that should, she says, hopefully, go through a bit easier. So pull that through. So when I made a specimen one earlier on, do you know what? I didn't have any trouble pushing that through at all. Now let's see if we can use a pencil to push it through. Will that go through? Yes. I knew we'd find a way of doing that. So there's, oops, thank you. I've got a runaway pencil. So we'll do that again. So what I did there, put your string or twine, get the pencil, or use the end of the pencil, the rubber end of the pencil, or the wide end, and push it through like that. And you should, she says hopefully, be able to just, oh no, oh dearie me. So let's see if we can get that through. The first one went through, it worked the first time. Let's see if we can just push that through. So what I'm trying to do is hold it down with the pencil point. I think we're there. Right, we got there. Hooray! If the pencil falls on the floor now, I'm quite happy to let it because I don't need it again. So we got there eventually. Sorry about that. So we will put that on the back and tie it as... It doesn't matter how tight you tie it, but just leave enough to make a loop at the top to hang it. So I'm just going to do a double knot just for now. And I'm going to put my finger underneath it so it doesn't go tight to the board like that. We can use our scissors again, so just to cut the ends off like that. Now the rest of it really is easy, I promise. So let's just turn that over. Golly, that was fun, wasn't it? So we could have made that a bit bigger, but that's all right. That'll hang. So I don't really like my hangy bits too long. So now we're just going to finish it off, and we're going to use, as I promised, we're going to use this to make a pen loop. And I should have taken out of my drawer a foam tape. It's all right, or a foam pad. It's all right, it's right next to me. So I've just got some foam pads that we're going to need. So what you do, you take your pen and you wrap it. You wrap the bit that you've taken off, that you cut out through the middle, around there. Now I'm just going to take some sticky tape because it's not going to show. And there's nothing wrong with using sticky tape in crafting, no matter what anybody else says. And then slide that out, and then what we do, we take a foam pad and we put the foam pad where we've put our join. So we put that there like that. Take off the backing tape, wrap it round, and I've decided to put my pen there. You can either put it at the top or the bottom, but I'm going to put my pen there. So give it a good press. Then, oh, that was nice and straight, wasn't it? So try and put it a bit straighter than I did. There we go. Then you can pop your pen loop, or your pen, through the loop, like that. Okay, it doesn't want to go. Okay, let's put it the other way. Push it through like that. It will go one way or the other. There we go. We're nearly finished now. Now, the last thing that you can do, but this is purely optional. Let's just get the sticky tape and the clutter out of the way. As a last extra embellishment, I've got a couple of foam pads on the back of one of these gorgeous labels, and I'm going to put that down there, because if you want to give these as a gift, you can personalise them, or if you're selling them, you can personalise them. So there we go, we got there in the end, didn't we, guys? So this is our hanging noteboard, and if you want it a little bit longer you can always adjust it, but I quite like it with a shorter hanger or a hanging loop. So there you go, guys. There is our hanging noteboard. And when you come back tomorrow, I'm going to be using a different notepad. I'm going to be using a square notepad, similar to this. It's a bit thicker, but it's a different shape, and we're going to be using it to make a different project. So do come, it won't be half as complicated as this one, or as lengthy, because there's no hanging loop for one thing. So do come back tomorrow and find out what I get up to next, and what embellishments I use from this gorgeous kit, and I will see you tomorrow. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Do take care, everybody. Have fun. And as always, happy weekend and a happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.